Hi, this is James Hahn with Real Life Rosary, and this is a daily meditation for real life. In 1941, a young Catholic Polish woman by the name of Zofia went to her local village store to buy some much-needed items for her family. Much to her surprise, she did not have enough money. The shopkeeper, a Jewish gentleman named Israel, had pity on Zofia and told her that she could take the items that she needed, just pay them back whenever she could. It was a small act of love. A small act of love that echoes even till today. Because Zofia eventually paid Israel back. Because not 2 years later, the Nazis moved into Poland and began rounding up the Jewish people. Zofia would not let this happen to her friend and benefactor, so she took Israel and his wife into their home. And they hid them in a small cubbyhole, a little crawl space behind their wood stove in their farmhouse. And for 2.5 years, Israel and his wife hid there from the authorities. And in fact, one time, the German soldiers coming through needed a place to stay, and they just made themselves at home in Zofia's farmhouse. Here we had those soldiers sleeping mere inches from Israel and his wife on the other side of the wall. So for 2.5 years they stayed. Eventually they escaped into Canada, and now they have children, grandchildren, and their story is going to continue because of a small act of love from Zofia that was repaying a small act of love from Israel. Small acts of love can change the world. They can change the world. They can change your life. In today's first reading, we see a small act of love on the part of Ruth. Ruth is the daughter-in-law of Naomi, and after Naomi's sons die and her husband passes away, she decides to go back to her people. And Ruth says, "I'm not going to leave you alone. Your people will be my people, your God will be my God, your religion will be my religion. I'm going to stay with you." A small act of love, but it echoes throughout eternity. Because we know that Ruth then goes and meets Boaz. And Ruth and Boaz have a son whose name is Obed. And Obed has a son whose name is Jesse. And Jesse has a son whose name is David. And the list goes on in David's line all the way to Jesus. So Ruth's small act of love echoes throughout eternity, all through this family tree of Jesus and into the family of the church. And in today's gospel, Jesus sums up all the teachings of the law and the prophets into love. Two things: love God, love your neighbor. Or as St. Augustine says, love and do what you will. So what is love? We've talked about that before, but love is wanting what is best for somebody else. It's not a selfish love, it's a selfless love. That's what love is. And that's what all of these characters that we've mentioned so far have done. Zofia, her small act of love. Israel, his small act of love. Ruth's small act of love. Jesus' continual acts of love. So the challenge today is, can you change the world? Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to change the world? You don't have to do anything great. Just do small acts of love. We hear people talk about random acts of kindness. Small acts of love. Little things. Little things for other people. Trying to find something to do for them that's best for them. That's your challenge. Change the world. Small acts of love. May God bless you. This is James Hahn with Real Life Rosary and a daily meditation for real life.